Beautiful. Thank you, Christina. Hard to follow. For anyone who doesn't know me, I'm Uncle Mikey, also known as Mike Cunningham. I'm Auntie Christie's husband. And I'm clumsy. I married into the family in a way, and while we might not be blood related, we still feel like a part of the family. I try to look at life's challenges as lessons, and I take each one and try to share that with my boys, Easton and Tyler. Probably too much sometimes, and I'm sure that they would say that maybe everything doesn't have to be a lesson. But I know they would both agree with me that the lessons we learned from KK were very important and good ones to learn. You see, Kelton was a good teacher as much as he was a good student. He taught me most about strength and bravery, qualities that I need as a firefighter in a small department who also lives in the community that I serve. You get to know your patients, and you treat many people who are neighbors and friends, sometimes from the onset of a disease until the very end. You get to see the different ways in which families and people handle and cope with disease and injury. While I didn't get to treat Kelton as a patient, I did have the honor of being there and knowing him through his battle, and I can honestly say, out of all the people I've seen fight cancer, he did it with the most strength and courage of anyone I've ever seen. Thank you for that lesson, KK. You taught me well. It's a lesson that I know I will need for many situations throughout my life. During KK's battle, I got the pleasure of interviewing him for a blog update. As examples of the type of person and teacher that he was, I'd like to share a couple of the questions and answers, and I think they speak for themselves. I asked him, if you could travel into the future, would you rather see something that specifically relates to you or something that relates to the future of the country in general, and why? And his answer was, I'd rather see something that relates to the whole country because it's about more than just me, it's about lots of people. And next I asked him, what advice would you give anyone dealing with cancer today? And he replied, always be strong and have confidence in yourself. Those are lessons that we can all apply to our daily lives, not just when fighting cancer, and they're good lessons. Thank you, KK. There's a current show on TV today, which, like kids, is supposed to be a fun and an escape from the hard realities of life. In a recent episode, they got pretty serious and talked about death and last words and their meanings. This was a far stretch from the funny, relaxing episode that we were expecting. We kind of felt robbed and we were left with tears, but we still had memories of the fun that we'd seen before. Much like the cancer with Kelton was unexpected and not fair, we feel robbed, yet we still have the wonderful memories to get us through, and we have those last words. I got to visit Kelton the day before he passed. I hadn't seen him, Alana, or Richard for some time before that, but it was like we'd just seen each other yesterday. We all knew that we loved each other and were always in each other's hearts, thoughts, and prayers. We were family. My last words to Kelton were very important to me. They were, I'm sorry, I love you, and goodbye. Simple words, but with deep meaning for me in so many ways. Kelton's last words to me were, love you, it was good to see you. He said those to me as we were getting ready to leave for our drive home, and there were several people in the room with us. A couple of them looked at me and said, he said it was good to see you, and looked at me as though I should respond, not knowing that I wanted Kelton to have the last word. I couldn't express the sentiment at the time because I couldn't find the words or the voice to speak them. I feel that as adults, we all too often get the last word, and sometimes it has to be that way, but not this time. Kelton knew how I felt, and that was enough for me. I know that society makes a lot about last words, and they can be very profound, important, and life-changing at times. But it's also important that even if you can't remember what your last words were with KK, or his last to you, it's enough to know that you loved him and he loved you. I imagine that all the people that get up here to talk about Kelton today, there will be some common themes that we're going to hear. Things like strength, bravery, sweet and kind, loving and caring, considerate, funny and compassionate, a good and fun kid, a special friend, a good listener who was loyal and supportive. These are all true of Kelton and are qualities to admire and learn from. Kelton may have been born to be all these things, but I know that he also learned many of these qualities throughout his life from his parents. Richard and Alana, you gave us a gift that we will treasure forever, and we thank you for instilling and fostering these positive qualities in Kelton. You already know this, but you raised a very special child, and we thank you for that gift. F. Scott Fitzgerald once said, "Show me a hero, and I will write you a tragedy." While I always knew that Kelton's bravery in his battle against this terrible disease was heroic, I didn't fully realize the extent of his heroism until I looked back at everything, pictures, writings, videos, memories, while writing his obituary, which is one of the most challenging tasks I've ever been honored to attempt. Kelton's battle was heroic, but even if he never had to fight this battle, I believe that KK was a hero and a fine example for all of us. There is no easy way to say goodbye to a child, and there is nothing that I can say to make sense of this loss. All I can say is thank you, Kelton. It was good to see you too.